At 7 o'clock. So welcome to Wednesday Wind Down with Dan and Friends, the webinar and YouTube show for folks that like to get together and hang out and drink and with their friends or just yak about backpacking outdoors. So COVID makes it a little harder to do. We're doing it virtual. So I'm Dan Conger. I'm the host. Tonight I am drinking, this is Belching Beaver's Peanut Butter Stout. Quite tasty. Sandra, would you introduce yourself?
Did you say Belching Beaver?
Belching Beaver.
Oh, my God.
Oh, they've got a whole line of them. Oh, you don't know the half of it.
I'm having my bedtime tea because it's almost time for bed.
Okay, I'm gonna use two hands to drink mine because it's heavy.
Yes.
Oh wait, I'm mocking. Ooh, Dave Callan has a 12-year Glenlivet. Nice. Okay, so tonight we're talking about gear that you'd never leave behind, which if you were to translate that, it would be some of my favorite gear, some of Sandra's favorite gear. And we're going to talk about the reasoning behind that. Now, a couple other people have done these. And so it's really what, if I'm your friend, or you're watching this on YouTube, you may not know me. So what my favorite stuff is may have no bearing, but it might be something that you, because of the considerations that we're bringing up, might be something to think about it. So Sandra, why don't you start off with, tell us what the first thing on your list, your most favorite piece of gear, or the one you would never, ever, ever leave behind at home?
Never.
Ever.
It's my shower.
That's your whole shower right there?
This is the whole thing. So this end here, I'll try to get a little bit closer. This end here hooks up to the hydration hose of my hydration pack. And this is just a shower nozzle from one of those little camp ones. That would be like a solar shower, and it just we just put it on there, and this is the ultimate of luxury. I can shower, I can take care of all my hygiene needs with this little bad boy. It's only 25 grams. It takes up hardly any space, and this is the absolute, because I'm miserable if I can't just get some of that off of all my gear and get it clean so I can go to sleep. So this is my favorite thing.
So on our Sierra trips, you're not a jump in the lake kind of person.
No.
But me and some of the other guys, we are. So the nights that I can't jump in the lake, I feel exactly that way. Or when I go on a desert trip and you're not going to spare that water. Occasionally on a desert trip, I might spare a little bit of water to wipe down my feet or something, because for me, there's nothing grosser than having sticky legs that want to stick together. Did I make you gag a little?
It's just, that's the worst. I can't. No, I can't. There's no point. We're not animals. And for 25 grams,
That's right. Nice. The fact that you said grams instead of ounces, impressive. Yes. Kelly enjoys the smell. I bet you do. Question, this might bit too strong, laddie. Irish Spring commercial. Okay, so this is going to be a difference in personalities. Sandra is a comfort, cleanliness, hygiene one. I'm very pragmatic with my number one. My number one is a ACR personal locator beacon. So this is my pragmatic thing, and it's not too big. I don't know what it weighs in. I want to say it's 6-7 ounces, something like that. And it's got this little clippy antenna, right? You can put up the antenna. I believe it floats. And there's when you lift this up, there's a button right underneath here. So this is not a two-way communicator. It is only a send my location and shit has hit the fan. That's all it is. So for me, this is, for years, I did not want to carry anything like this. And I still don't carry a two-way communicator. Other people do. Many of my friends do. But this is actually the only one that we usually have on our trips and when we hike together. But I also carry this on my day hikes, right? This is always in my pack. We've kind of had the discussion when I first got, I think the first year I rented one and then I purchased it after that one. What I like about it is there's no recurring fees. So I've always had a harder time justifying the subscription on some of the other devices. So the
How many
DeLorme.
batteries does that take?
It might be radioactive batteries. I don't know, but they're 5-year batteries. So at some point, they're gonna want me to send it in and for a refresh. So I want to say it was probably in the $200 range. Probably, I know it was under $300, but it was a one-time fee. So I think the refresh is not the full cost, but it's a fraction of it. And then the other thing is, if you ever use it, you need to send it in for service. But I do believe that ACR, if you ever use it for a true emergency, they'll send you a new one for free, but they want to use your story. I want to say there I was hanging on the side of a cliff, and right.
But did you die?
Right. So we've made the pact that if we push that button, if anyone pushes that button, whether it's for someone in our group or the person that you come across that's laying on the side of the trail, we push that button, our trip is over. Right. This is a trip ender. So that's my very pragmatic version of it. So what's your number 2, Sandra?
My number 2 is something that I learned this year, and that is my phone with CalTopo on it. And I really liked my having everything because I can put a book in here, I can read, I take photos, and then with CalTopo, my map is in here. But I also was using the photo feature in CalTopo, and it helped me kind of link everything back together of where I saw a picture. I usually took another picture in CalTopo so I could kind of narrow down where we were on the trail. And I just thought that this was just like really great. I also did, when you guys are in the lake, I usually go,
take pictures
there. And when I'm showering, I actually turned on music this year.
Oh.
Okay. And so I just turned on a little bit of music, took a shower, and it was just like, wow, this is great. I loved it.
Okay. So a question came in from Kevin. What type of batteries are you bringing for charging your phone? Or, well, first, I'm going to say first question is, how long of a life do you get out of it using it for navigation and photos and a couple other things? So, and then
I only charged it one time, and I have an Anchor battery, and that's way too much technical for me. Rich bought it, and the battery is about the size of my phone. I stack them on top of each other, and then I'll usually bring just my cable for my phone to the battery, and then the cable for my Fitbit, because it lasts like 5 days.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'll bring that other cable, and I'll use the battery for that before I'll use the battery for this.
So I think Anchor makes one that's the little shorter, more square one, which is what I have, and that's the 10,000 milliamp hours. And then I have a feeling that they make one that's also the 10,000, but it's just thinner and the similar size. So like you, I found that I've never used the 10,000, not even the Mike's 20,000 that he's brought before.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if you're gonna have a fan and your iPad and
a fan, we can have a fan.
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to try with the 5,000, and you might do it, but my 6,500, it'll be interesting. So, it's one of those things, right? The same with fuel. I'm kind of pushing that limit, and I kind of know that when I'm with a group, if something goes sideways, like if I only bring one small can of fuel, and if I ran short, I know I could tap my friends. Kevin also asks about a flexible solar charger. What's interesting is that as far as weight goes, not sustainability, but weight, rechargeable batteries, the weight penalty is better. You're going to get more energy out of a battery than a solar charger. Solar chargers really need a lot. They haven't had a whole lot of improvement in solar panels, a lot more improvement in batteries. Okay, my number 2 is a piece of clothing. And it's interesting. I have found once, I think this was my first piece of truly expensive gear, expensive clothing. This is a Patagonia R1 hoodie. It's got the microgrid fleece. It does have the hood. It's got the sleeves with the little thumb holes. It's what I believe this is a what do we call that? A quarter zip? It's not really,
Yeah.
it quarters it. Yeah.
It quarters it.
Yeah. The, so
A little bit of
this,
vinegar might take care of that, Dan.
that's true. That's true. So this is when I got this really changed my layering systems, right? So I will wear this over a synthetic tee. In the winter, I'll wear it over a long sleeve synthetic tee. In the summer, I'll wear it over a short. Then I could put my wind shirt over it. I could put my down sweater over it. It's fantastic. I can even put my button sun shirt over this as well. The hood adds some help. So I think it's super flexible. I run hot, so I'm always warmer compared to Sandra, who's always cold. So this is fantastic for me in the winter, like this in a wind shirt in the snow, and I'm in great shape, right? Where someone else might want their down or another puffy. This does a lot for me. There we go. Yeah, I never advise Sandra on temperature ratings because that's going to get me into trouble.
Every time.
Yeah, right. Okay. Ridiculously expensive, but serves me well. And the one thing I've also discovered about major name brands on outdoor gear, they stand behind them really well, right? I will never buy another one of these. If I tear it, if a seam breaks, it's going back to Patagonia. They also have a recycling program for a lot of their synthetic gear, which I love too. I also own a Patagonia down sweater, so the two of these pair up wonderfully. Okay, what's your number 3?
Number 3 are my Injinji socks, toe socks, and my Ultra shoes. I wear the Ultra Temp 1.5, and the toe socks. And I have figured out that if my feet aren't comfortable, I'm not comfortable. And so the Ultra Temp is a really wide shoe box or toe box because I have bunions, and the toe socks are really great because any kind of chafing you would get from your toes getting sweaty is automatically eliminated. I love these socks. They make them ankle or mid-calf or knee-high. And if we're in really cold weather, I wear the knee-high. And if it's especially hot, I'll wear the ankle. But usually I'll wear the knee-high on a summer trip unless I can tell it's going to be a warm trip, and then I'll just wear a calf sock.
Are those synthetic or wool?
I think they're wool.
Okay. Interesting.
But
okay.
They're just really, really comfortable. And they even have a squeezy part in them for the arch where they really get in there. Okay. I love them.
Okay. And did it take any getting used to having something in between your toes? Because that seems like that would annoy the hell out of me.
I don't like the kind of silk that gets inside the shoe and the sock, and that I found to be more annoying than putting on socks. It did take a little bit of training to spread my toes when I put my socks on, because that's not something you automatically think of doing. It's like, oh, I'm putting socks on, spread the toes. And that makes it really easy to get them to go into place really, really fast. And I swear by them now. I won't hike without toe socks.
Nice. Okay, cool. So while my number 2 was ridiculously expensive, my number 3 is going to balance the budget, so to speak. This is a generic bug net, probably $3. It's ridiculous how awesome this is and how light it is, right? This actually goes in I want to keep it with me all year round, even though I don't need it in the winter. It just crumples up, gets stuffed into my 10 Essentials / first aid kit. I like to leave it in there all the time. It will go over my wide brim hat, my wide brim sun hat. There is nothing more infuriating to me. Let me rephrase that. Getting bit by a mosquito is annoying and it's bad. Having a mosquito flap your nose or go in your eye or buzz around your ear and just like, I'm going to suck your blood. Really, I am. Like, God, you know what? Then you put this over, I can hear you, but you're not getting anything from me. So This and a long sleeve shirt and long pants. Man, I haven't used DEET on a trip in quite some time.
Right. I don't think I've ever used DEET.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's it's so funny. You had the net up. We used our nets on one of our trips, and I had to. I took the net off and I gave it to Dixie because she was having.
Wait. Who's Dixie?
The dog.
Okay.
The dog.
Okay.
My beloved dog. She was on a trip with us. I think we were in Laguna.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Those little flies.
Yeah.
They were all around her eyes, and I just felt like she was defenseless. And so I took my net off and I put it on the dog, and she was like, "Oh, thank God, I really appreciate this." And I now carry 2 bug nets in my day pack because she does
dog bug net. I love it.
She gets to wear one too. Bug nets are legit.
So, and that's true. So in our Southern California mountains, it's what, midsummer through, there were a few out last week, but generally into late summer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're a gnat. They're not really a black fly like East Coast people would have black flies, but they're bigger than a gnat and they're smaller than a black fly. I think they are some sort of a fly, definitely not mosquitoes. And those are the ones that go up your nose and
these don't seem to bite, but they just are super annoying. And she was getting them in her eyes. Yeah. And she kept sneezing and pushing her head down, and she was just uncomfortable, and that's not cool. So I took it off, and it really worked out for her. So awesome. She has her own head.
So we're just a little past halfway. So if you have some of your favorite gear or things that you would never leave behind, put them in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll take a look at them at the end. I think we'll definitely have time for it today. Okay, so that was my number 3. What's your number 4 item?
Oh, my number 4 item? It would be this bad boy. This bad boy is the best hair clip. There's no metal. There's a tiny bit of rubber right here on the edge, but this is all hard plastic. And so it can't poke or damage any of my gear. Mm-hmm. And with all the synthetic fibers that we wear, my hair is so long that I get a pretty bad case of static. And then there's just hair everywhere. It's getting knotted up. It's a mess. Yeah. So I will take a buff and I'll put it on down my neck. I'll pin my hair up, and then I pull the buff over my head, and that gets rid of all those wispy hairs. And I'm not at my face trying to get rid of those hairs. And with all of this, it's too much.
I've been thinking about that, but I haven't found the right clip for mine.
Oh yeah. So for a long time I would just use the buff, but the weight of it, there's just too much back here. So
for other folks that have long hair, how long is your hair? Is it mid back or is it a little past shoulder?
It's about 3 or 4, maybe a little bit more inches below the bra strap. Okay. So
that's pretty long.
Pretty far down. Yeah. I did cut it, and I haven't had a haircut in well over a year because I was due for a haircut, and then no.
Well, have you ever braided your hair for a trip?
I did, and I still had little hairs coming out, and I didn't like it. I even tried at night. I took a sponge curler with me one year, and at night I would put it up into that sponge curler, and it didn't hold up the way that this little clip did. And this clip, like I wear one just about every day, and I'll just I'll take it and put it on my bra and just slip it in. And then once my hair bothers me, up it goes. I don't have time for it.
Okay. So my number 4 is a sleeping item, and this is a Gossamer Gear 1/8" pad. And if you were to measure this, you'd actually find out it's a little bit shorter than the way they sell them. That's why this is so wonderful. So this is a multi-purpose thing for me. So I use this folded up like this as a sit pad. I don't bring a dedicated sit pad, but I do leave it accessible in my pack. If I want to take a nap on the trail, right, this is going to fold out, and it's something a little bit between me and the dirt. That's really nice. I am a little paranoid about my Thermarest Uberlight pad. That's definitely a thinner material. So this goes underneath it, inside the tent, and then the pad goes on top of it. So it's a little bit more cushion. I have cut strips off of this for padding on my hip belt one year when I realized my hip belt was the wrong size. Added some of that. Kit told a story of getting a pair of shoes without insole material.
Oh,
right. You totally trace that and cut it. You could make it as a small jacket for your flat mic that you bring along. Oh, we did that.
94. Yes.
Yes. So super flexible, multi-use. I used to bring a dedicated sit pad, but I've switched to this, and this seems to work really well. So I'm really happy with this. So we've got time for our last one, and then we'll go to Q&A. So what's your fifth one? Fifth item?
I didn't bring it out, but I think one of my other things that I just, I need my puffy jacket. I use that when we first get in the tent at night and it's chilly. I will still wear the jacket to fall asleep. And whenever I start to relax and warm up, I'll take it out. And I will also drape it over my head, even though I have usually a beanie on while I sleep. I'll just drape it over to kind of insulate a little bit and get me just a little bit warmer. And then I always, I don't know a night that I don't have my puffy jacket on, or first thing in the morning.
So what brand is your puffy?
I think it's the REI.
Okay. So, but
yeah.
It's down, not synthetic. Is that correct?
Correct. It's down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But for a long, long time, I would say 4 or 5 years, I had a puffy jacket that Rich got me from JCPenney's. And it was huge and it was orange. But the best part was it was so big when I would zip it up, it stood out away from me and I could feel my body heat coming out. And it was like warm air would wash across my face. But the best part was it was only $13.
That could have been a sleeping bag for a kid that was so big.
And construction orange.
Oh yeah, you were not going to be. It wasn't even this orange. It was very, very.
So I really like my new puffy jacket because it has a little bit more puff, and in a pinch, I can add it to my my pillow.
Wasn't even this orange. It was bright. It was almost fluorescent.
It was construction orange. It was definitely Caltrans orange.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh.
So my puffy jacket is my other thing. And I think all my stuff really, it circles around, if I'm not comfortable, I'm not happy. Yeah. And that will make or break my trip.
So then my fifth item, Dave threw out a comment on it, is my umbrella. So interesting story. Last month I was looking at my gear and I'm like, I've had this umbrella for a long time and the silver's kind of fading. I wonder if it's still waterproof. So I stuck it in the shower. I'm like, oh yeah, it still works, right? It's just not as sun reflective. So I put it out in the front yard, open to dry in the sun. Went back into my office, did my work. My wife goes out to go to the store and I put it in the middle of the yard. As she goes out to the store, it's now by the front gate, but she's like, well, why do you put it by the front gate? I go out to get it later on. It's gone. It's gone. It's not blown out in the street. It's not blown down to the corner. It is gone. So I tested it and it works, but now it's gone. So now I waited and I moped a little bit and got myself a new umbrella. So I like Kelly's comment. Umbrellas are meant to disappear. No, they're not. So I went and I ended up getting a Six Moon Designs, and check this out. For another $10, I don't think we're going to be able to see this. I'm going to block some light. I got a carbon fiber umbrella. I saved 2.1 ounces for $10. Oh my God. That definitely puts me in the weight weenie category, but umbrellas are really nice. And since all of us have silver umbrellas, I figure out I have a red zip tie I put on the end so you can tell this is Dan's. So I also have I believe Gossamer Gear has a clip that fits on your strap, and it's a nice lock-in. So that's mine. And what's interesting is that always goes with me on backpack trips. I don't bring it on day hikes, and I don't use it for sun. I just haven't gotten in that habit yet. But the first time I put this, actually, when I first got this, I took it out on a Sierra Club Wilderness Basics course outing where I was a leader, and it was misting, or it was a drizzle. I put it up. I'm like, oh my God, it was immediate game changer. Right? I didn't even have my shell on and just had this umbrella, and like, this is awesome. So, okay, well, let's take a look at the Q&A and the what other people have thought. So Doug says he likes Lucy lights. He says he uses them even more than headlamps. I kind of like that. I would agree with that one. Although I have found in a group, yes, but for more, I don't want to say utilitarian, but for a social group, a Lucy light is actually really good. It's a precision thermometer for weather and people. Interesting. Okay, I don't know that one. Another one from Doug was, he said, about the PLB versus a in reach spot, whatever. That is true. There's probably some pros and cons, right? And I know that one time a ranger had said they like the two-way communication, or she said they like the two-way communication versus that. So yeah, there's definitely pros and cons. That's a whole nother bag of worms on that one, right? To talk about PLBs versus two-way communicators. Dave asked, how long have I had the R1 hoodie? And then how many dollars per year are you at? Dollars per year. I've never thought about that formula. So I've had that for close to 8 years, I'm going to guess.
I thought it was like 5 or 6.
No, it's been more. And I remember we stopped by Mecca. So we went to the Patagonia store in Ventura. That's their mother store. And I'm like, this is cool, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe for Christmas. Jill's like, my wife said, you should get it. I'm like, yes, okay. What else should I get? So it was, at the time, I believe it was about $100, which is crazy expensive for a insulating layer, but it performs really well. And I know, like I said, I'm never going to buy another one. So we got that one. And then let's take a look at the chat and see what things we have in there. Nikki says, hey. Let's see. Backup batteries, solar chargers we talked about. Got the toe socks. Kevin's suggestion for my hair is a paper clip.
Wow.
For the yeah.
For these wispy ones.
Although for me, this is the first. So this is my COVID cut. I did this just before we went on our summer trip. I did it maybe a week or two before, and it was like, it was the greatest thing ever. My hair was never really long, but I never had to worry about it on a trip. And since then, it's like, I'm every so often, my wife sees me walking with the clippers out to the backyard. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, just, clean up. She goes, you just did that a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't cost any money. But she's disappointed because she wants me to grow it back out. I'm like,
does she really?
It's just like not happy. Well, when we got married, I had hair down to my shoulder.
Oh, Dan, I need a picture. Oh, Dan, I need a picture.
Okay, I'll show you my wedding picture, right? I used to get my hair cut at a place in Pasadena called Long Hair Rocks. That's where I went. Yeah, because if you went to Supercuts, they'd screw it up. Dave's comment on the umbrella is, despite not often needing the umbrella, it always goes with me. Yeah. Came in handy 2 Sundays ago when we had solid rain out at Daly Ranch. Good point. Good point. Kelly is trying to say that umbrellas are meant to disappear because he was irresponsible with his and lost his on the trail. So,
and then he got home this year and he didn't have his because we had it.
Okay, let's see. I think that's it on the questions. One last check. Oh, Doug says a balaclava or block. Wait, which is the clothing and which is the food? Baklava is the food. Balaclava.
Balaclava.
That would be good too.
Balaclava. That's
okay. That you say that. Yes, what you said.
Yes.
One of those. She says better than a beanie. That I agree. But what's interesting is with hoodie type things like the R1, it does kind of change your head covering thing, right? So, I'll still bring a heavy beanie, but I won't bring a light balaclava. I said that right. If I have my R1. So layering systems do kind of change a little bit as you work through these. And then Doug's last one, trail bake muffins for a week-long trip with shared meals. Oh my God. Okay. I will mock all of you guys for carrying a baker and for bringing muffin mix and all that stuff, but I'll eat it up. I will eat it every time.
So good when he bakes for us on trips.
Yeah.
It is probably one of my favorite things. It's like, oh, look, I got blueberry muffins. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're friends.
Here we are yakking and we're out of time. So I want to thank Sandra. Thanks so much for joining and sharing your gear. We appreciate it. Next week, we're going to do the flip side of this. What do you leave at home now? Or the translation and so this was what do you never leave behind / what's your favorite stuff. Next week is going to be what do you leave at home? What don't you need anymore? What are you over? So that's going to be a little harder one. I'm going to have to go through my gear list and say, I used to think this was awesome. And now it's like, not anymore, which is going to be what's kind of interesting about this is kind of as your taste and your experience changes. And if where you go changes too. So, okay, that's it for today. I want to thank you all for coming and watching. Sandra, thanks again. We'll see y'all soon. Take care.